Spartacus.
No, I.
All right. I believe we're live. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh.
I think
I didn't have it ready. Shoot.
Oh, I forgot.
Wow.
Yeah.
fair
Well,
one?
no, I think that should have tweeted too. Let's just make sure my tweet went out. Twitter.
There.
Yes, good. Okay. The tweet is out. The stream is gone. Is live.
Let me twit this first.
I got my bubble tea. Good to
Just
go.
one?
No, there's a second one in the fridge.
No, I know there is. There's always a second one.
So, hold on here.
Holy,
Let's
this is
full
a
screen
big
this.
roster.
So we've got Sharon there on the top left corner, Mike next to her, Dan top right corner, FJ here, and Warren's bottom right. We've got others in the call too. I guess are they going to take you guys not just watching, right? You guys are taking part in the conversation as well.
Sure. I'm going to bed like maybe around 11:30. So
Okay.
What time is it for you right now?
it's 10:40.
Okay, so Paul here is Dr. Paul. He's the expert in psyche, and he's our resident expert in all the things we're gonna. Hey, look at that,
Dr. Popo Paul.
Dr. Popo Paul.
Video.
Dr. Popo Papa Paul.
Okay.
That's gonna change several times through the night because I'm not gonna remember which order I've used.
What's this?
Oh, I cut myself shaving.
Oh,
So
Sorry,
That's
sorry-
my voice box.
sorry to
I
call-
now talk with a machine.
sorry to call that out.
Yeah.
It's
it's
all
okay.
good. It's all good.
Hopefully the bleeding stopped. So
Jeez.
all right.
Wait. Y'all
Gotta get that
you-
styptic pen thing. The styptic.
Oh yeah, the antiseptic. Okay.
That thing works very well.
People, y'all got you got hair here? What's up with that? Am I
Yeah,
like
go
the
hair
least
up,
hairiest
yeah.
person of the group? Like, I
I
don't
grow
grow
hair.
any hair.
Yeah, I got some there. I gotta pluck them.
I remember this
Instead of
topic
shave.
from last week about Dan's beard and everything.
Oh, you watched?
Oh,
you-
yeah.
You caught up. Okay.
Yeah, I told you guys. I listened to it on my drive to work.
Oh, I forgot
Warren's
to
body pubes.
I forgot to hashtag Team Brack. Okay. So,
Where do you want to start?
this week we're
Esther?
going to talk about our changes in usage of social media over the last year with the shift again with COVID times. We'll segue from that into the next topic when I think DayDay gets here too. More examples that way, but yeah. We've
Can we
followed...
start with the run stuff first?
Well,
Because
the
Day's
thing
not
is,
here.
DayDay's
He
not
hasn't
here.
put anything up.
No, but he did.
He ran.
Did he?
Yeah,
He
He
ran.
ran today.
he ran today. So I wanted to wait till
Yeah.
he's here so we can celebrate. Yeah. So we started a
Whoa!
team goals.
What?
DayDay threw in a couple K today, so that's good. That's
We're
good.
chill. That's good.
So yeah, when he gets in, we'll celebrate the fact that we crushed our goal for that first week.
We slapped that, but yeah, sure. Let's
Crushed
get
Warren
the
crushed
let's
it on
get the
himself
running
by
things.
himself. Yeah. Anyway, first couple podcasts has kind of followed the theme of like how we've adjusted because of COVID times, resolutions, behavior, and all that stuff. Building good behavior, bad behavior, and it's really good that we have an expert here today. It's certified specialist. But yeah, we're just I'm curious to see how people have shifted in their usage of social media. I'm like everyone's online more now. I'm seeing a lot more streaming going on, but like I guess in personal example, my usage on Instagram has gone down. Like I don't think I'm posting nearly as much as I used to. Maybe more stories rather than actual posts. Facebook has become more of like the replacement of Zoom for me. Like I'm using the FaceTime on Facebook more with family, friends. Zoom is kind of unnecessary now unless it's like a business related call. But yeah, anyone want to chime in? Have they been using it more? Or like, you know how what came out on Netflix? The Social Dilemma. You guys all seen
That
that?
was a while ago. Yeah.
I have not seen that.
Okay,
Um,
so
Watch it.
you haven't seen it, Paul?
When-
Well, it's basically
No.
just explaining how the model works on your Facebook feed. Let's say you only see what you want to see. They kind of base what they show you based on your clicks and your likes and things like that. You know, even how the like button was started, it was meant to be a very positive thing, but now there's this whole psyche attached to it. Like, what is it? Dopamine or endorphins or whatever it is that you get from serotonin from getting a like. I mean, I've definitely felt subject to that too myself. So, and my likes have decreased. I don't know what it is about the algorithm, but my posts or whatever the hashtags, the reach has definitely decreased. My YouTube has decreased 20% yearly over the last 4 years. So despite like usage seeming to be increasing everywhere and everyone's reliance on social media is up, I don't know, my personal analytics and metrics are decreasing. So yeah, anyone else want to chime in?
I think so you mentioned like you noticed a lot more people streaming. Is it just within our ring of friends, just like streaming video games to each other? Or are you talking like getting on Twitch and stuff, and like you notice there's a lot new streamers on Twitch? Like, what do you mean you see a lot more people streaming?
Well, like Facebook gaming, that's relatively new, and that's like it's I'm seeing more and more new channels. No, it's not new.
It's not new. I mean, it is newer than Twitch for sure, but it's been around for at least 2 years, right? Guys
Well,
like Disguised Toast moved over like a
like,
year or two ago.
People moved over to Facebook, I guess, because Mixer died. When did Mixer die? Like a
That's
year?
right. Yeah, when Mixer died, people moved over to Facebook.
But then I don't know. Maybe it's just whatever Facebook's showing me, but I'm seeing newer people on there.
Fair enough, and I think that's probably an effect of quarantine. People trying to find other streams of income. People trying to find other ways to outlet, if not just gaming with their friends in person or just gaming by themselves. They're realizing, crap, there is potential in kind of the streaming platform to make some money. No different from people being on OnlyFans, people being on like those like ChatterBait and stuff.
Is OnlyFans is that considered? Yeah, it's a social media platform. Yeah,
a form of it where it's
it's
mainly
it's like,
for the 18 plus stuff.
It's like Patreon, but with an adult range.
I mean, it originally started as like a training thing. OnlyFans was supposed to be for like, apparently if you wanted to like learn something or stick with like a certain celebrity or musician, you want to like learn something or originally, and then
Really?
it just became.
That's how they start out.
Like masterclass?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like that?
Yeah, it was supposed to be similar to like masterclass, yeah, and then
Whoa. I
turned
didn't know
into
that.
what it is today.
Okay.
They all start off like that. Like Patreon. Patreon was meant for like the artists to, kind of bring their community together and share their content as well as put a price to it so they can make some sort of income off of it from people that love their work. You start seeing the people that are like, oh, I post 18 plus stuff on Patreon.
Yeah, I saw it there first. Not that I subscribed to those things first, but I knew that people were using Patreon and that, like, basically, from what I learned about this whole ASMR community too. So a lot of the My Free Cam Girl things from then, they've all shifted over to like using YouTube and ASMR because they found that they were getting even more traction with that, and then tying in Patreon with their YouTube channel rather than having to use like a platform like My Free Cams or something like that. But then OnlyFans now feels like, well, maybe not. It's not like a big webcam chat thing, but
No, not quite. If anything, it's more the text interaction, and yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, going back to or moving away from OnlyFans, we're talking about social media use. You're using it less. You've seen your metrics go down.
Are you?
I've definitely used it less. Yeah, I know. Since I built this computer, I'm like, that whole Christmas break, my phone has been sitting here, and it's just like I didn't even pick up any calls. I didn't take any texts. Everything was on my computer because I got sucked into my computer. Even now, I've opted to just stay away from Instagram so it doesn't distract me and I can keep on with my typical grind.
I was more so like asking about after March last year. Like, what was the shift after March?
Oh, interesting. Thinking that far back for me personally is probably more because I wanted to, show workouts, do stuff of that nature, make videos.
Like, to
But
segue into
since
like screen time, like, were you on your phone a lot? I was, for sure, for me. Like,
for me, it didn't change.
I don't subscribe to cable, so it's if I'm not on the computer, I'm on my phone. So
I think you have to like for me, like I think I'm an anomaly because I was lucky enough to keep working. Like nothing really changed for me. And being in Lloydminster, like there is not a ton of cases here, so it's not like I was on a what you would call a lockdown, or I wasn't really hit hard by quarantine. Like things didn't really change much.
mm-hmm.
So my usage when March came around and everyone started buying too much toilet paper, my social media use is pretty much the same.
I mean, during March, there was like a big surge in the use because everyone was like trying to connect in some way. There was like those push-up challenges.
Yeah.
There was
Oh
like,
yeah,
a ton of hashtags and a ton of like,
we did those.
people banging pots and pans at 7 p.m. or something like that. So like there was like people just trying to make a community, and then eventually people just got fatigued and like it
got
is
old.
what it is now.
You got too mainstream.
Yeah.
But like, was it just lack of content? Do you think people were posting less? Is creativity up because they were being forced to be, more unique with their posts? Because before, anyone would just post what they're doing, but there's just a lot less stuff to do, so there was just less to post.
Yeah, I think that was just a fad at the time. It just fatted out, and that was it. It's just a lot quicker because, like, they don't, like you mentioned, they don't have any other things to do. So they just got tired of that so fast. So
it's like, how many times can I post washing my car, or like shoes or something, or music covers or whatever?
There are two things to that kind of like question. Like it's hard to make any generalizations unless you're part of the team that actually looks at all the data for Instagram itself. And then the other part of it is everyone's going to see it differently. Like depending on your friends, it's kind of like, okay, most of us got off of Instagram or most of us are using it less, but you're only seeing that small sample size. Unless you actually work at the company, it's hard to make any generalizations. I think on a personal level, everyone's gonna be different. For me, definitely, like it was the same throughout the summer, but then when the winter hit, that October, November, there was the part of I built the computer, I don't have time to look at my phone, and then there's the other part of like I don't want to like see all the nonsense happening in the world. As much as I want to know, I'm like, if anything, it kind of got me down seeing a lot of that. Ever since George Floyd and everything else after that, like it was a hard thing to. It was pretty draining when all that was happening.
But were you guys, even before last year, did you fall subject to that whole like addiction, getting likes or views or watches? I think likes have generally probably gone down. First, remember, like Instagram made like the number of likes invisible to verified accounts, or so basically all of us normal people, right? It used to show 30 likes, 15 likes, 60 likes or whatever. Now it doesn't. It just shows liked by and then a couple names and more.
It in America it still shows the number of likes.
Like to you, or are you the people you're looking at?
Like if I go on my Instagram, like I can see how many people like how many like people will say name and 122 others liked, or 100 whatever
no,
others.
For you, whatever. For your posts,
for you,
right?
But not for other people.
Yeah, but when you're on other people's pages, they made it so you can't see their likes, unless.
No, I can see it. I can see yours.
You can see how many likes my stuff has.
Yeah.
I think it's different for the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I can see
DayDay and 28 others. Like I could see that.
I see that as well. I can see liked by somebody and so many others
on your own page.
Not on my own, just on other people's.
On other people's.
Yep. So go to somebody else's account and you can see liked by this person and 25 others, 100 others.
I'm gonna go to Paul's right now.
Yeah, because I think there was a trial where they tried doing that, but I think they like lifted that now.
Well, they said something like it was creating too much depression. Like people were sad to compare this. They can see all those likes and then.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Let me see Paul's I'm pretty sure for a while I did notice that they removed it. It was kind of annoying. Okay,
I don't see Warren's. That's
yeah,
the
so
account.
I go on Paul. I go on your first post or your last post, I guess you'd say, and it says liked by Mike and others, and that's it. I don't see how many.
Oh, maybe it's like based on region.
And if I click
'cause Warren said
others,
you could see that.
usually it would tell you the total number at the top. It does not. You can count if you
Just
want to
lists.
scroll. It's just a list.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Oh, 'cause
I can
could-
see.
I could see.
You
So
can see
maybe it's
Paul's?
just, like region.
Maybe Toronto is too depressed.
Yeah, like by like by this person and 122 others.
on Paul's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's weird. Yeah, maybe it's a
Region.
who knows,
Oh.
or maybe it's
Or
some profile
or
yeah.
iPhone things.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
the app
On
itself.
iPhone. Yeah. That.
Dan, do you
Yeah,
see it
You want?
on
I
Paul's?
do not.
Okay.
Who else has an iPhone? Jay?
I have 3, but there's no point in checking the same account on all that.
Yeah, Jay has iPhone, but she's making ramen.
Jay's busy. Okay.
I
Well-
have Android and I don't see.
Okay, so I know that in general, yeah, I don't get a lot of likes anyway, and I know that probably the vast majority of my followers are don't even use Instagram anymore. But then the whole stories things came in, and I even I even got that kind of feedback with my parents. I got my parents into stories because they noticed they don't get as many likes, and they were like, why are people seeing my likes or whatever? And then like, oh, because everyone shifted to stories now. It's like, oh, what's a story? And so you've got this limited time 24-hour thing, and people started treating views on stories just as almost as important as likes. Do you know what I mean? Like you feel like you're being watched just by getting the number of views higher in your stories, because you don't see how many people view your posts on whatever, unless you check analytics specifically. But stories basically functions the same way now, where you get that number, you get that like high of like, oh, 100 people saw this story, or however many people, friends, really like proportional to your friends see your story.
I used to be like that. I used to be one of those people. I was like, yo, my numbers. But like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I go through cycles where it's like I put my phone away. Like, Dan, I always tell you this, like, yo, I'm going to uninstall Snapchat and Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you hold on to my password? It's
Yep.
for me to control myself, because I get to a point where it's like I need to discipline myself and not look at my shit. Like, I keep swearing. I just want to get off of it and like free myself from that connection. When I do that stuff, what would happen is like at work, every 15 or 20 minutes, I would like reach for my phone. It's not even there. Like I have this habit of like, I go through every 20 minutes to check my phone and then do this. But then when I go through those cycles where Dan has my password, it's like, wait, why am I reaching? I have no reason to reach. I don't have Instagram or Snapchat. Like every so often, I'll go through those phases of like, I've been on it too much.
Chat just said they roll out Instagram changes in numerous phases, so it's not done regionally or anything. So apparently,
Oh, okay.
who knows? Some people are ahead. Maybe iPhone's ahead.
Your
Yeah.
chat knows. That's who knows.
It's like that mouse that will like eat that cracker that has like a little crack in it, and like mouse will eat it and it'll
Yeah.
keep on following you in the maze and like do that stuff. That's why you keep grabbing for your phone, because you get that little hit of dopamine when you like
Yep.
grab your phone and get that like.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's kind of condition.
I used to check
Yep, totally
just for
conditioned.
notifications. Now I don't even want notifications.
Oh, it's
Yep.
Tyler.
Just clear.
Why
That's
isn't he
Tyler?
on this? Yeah.
Oh, it's Tyler. Okay, I was like, yeah, the A dangers. I'm like, is that Tyler? I don't know.
Totally valid.
Just in case.
Yeah.
All right. He says, hey.
But
Okay,
yeah, totally
so-
a
but I
victim to
mean,
that. Like
but-
that's all me. I'm one of those people that would go through that all the time. Now I'm better. I think quarantine taught me well.
So is that a it's like you said, he's better. So comparatively, you think that people should, I mean, that's obvious. People shouldn't rely on likes and shouldn't rely on validation from social media reception.
I mean, I get it if it's like your source of income, and like that's something that you do for
you rely
living
on,
and
yeah.
everything.
No.
Yeah, I 100% get that.
But if that's like your high for the day as a regular person, that's
Yeah, then that's like,
something's up.
But then a lot of
That's-
them
You need to
do
talk to Paul.
kind of come hand in hand. Like a lot of social media influencers they not only make an income of it, but it is something to, it does shift their psyche too, and how relevant or significant they might feel.
If anything, I'll look for certain people to see if they saw the story.
Yes.
Like with
Yeah.
with Domino's, I'd be like, "Yo, did Domino's check my shit? Are they gonna like give me another free pizza?"
I went through this thing. It was like, is my ex looking at my stuff? It's like, is she looking at my stories?
That yeah. See,
You
if,
know?
I would do it
Yeah.
in spite. That's right.
I saw this post about it's from like TikTok. This influencer was very jealous of the topic of coronavirus, so she licked a toilet seat on an airplane and made
Classic.
it like hashtag coronavirus challenge or something like that.
Yep, that got
I
big.
know. What?
Wait, what?
Wait.
What did she do? She
Coronavirus challenge. She
Lick-
licked the toilet seat in the airplane.
She's the same girl that started the Kanye with.
Oh
Jeffree
yeah,
Star.
yeah. That's how I saw the post.
F, you don't know about this? You have TikTok?
I got nothing on that.
I'm not really on TikTok. I started it just to
A
start.
lot
it.
of stupid challenges like that when coronavirus was a thing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it
yeah.
is a thing, but when it first became a thing, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like the whole like eat a Tide Pod challenge.
You know what?
Oh, I
The
remember
Tide
the
Pod challenge.
where they had to like make big lips with like a shot glass or something, and then people were like permanently bruising their mouths. You see that something with
there
duck
was-
lips or something?
I do recall that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do recall that.
Like
I d-
planking was good. You didn't have to.
Planking
go
was a
overboard.
No,
Yeah, it
but
was
then that got
wholesome.
dangerous too, though.
Yeah.
Then people were doing some crazy stuff off of, like ledges and cliffs, and yeah, everyone wants to be. Well, how do you make something go viral unless you're the first one to make it, and then you just add to it, like the
Can
Kiki
you imagine,
dance?
like,
Kiki, you know?
Going so hard with a planking challenge and you like somebody dies from a planking challenge?
Did that happen?
We live. No, I'm just saying, like
Probably.
everyone that went to that extreme.
Obviously, we didn't see that post.
Yeah.
They didn't get to hit the button, unfortunately.
Here lies.
It's like Hillary Banks. You know, if he was posting that, he didn't finish either. But... hmm So, how many of you guys have TikTok and actively go there?
Nope.
Oh hell no, no can do it.
Is that an age thing? You think it's a generation thing? Because like,
It's an addiction thing. I went on it and I'm like, how did I just spend an hour looking at TikToks? It's so easy. Like even with Insta stories,
Yeah,
like
that's what I
Insta
heard.
and Reels. Like with Reels, you just keep swiping up. You can just lose so much time. Like for me, because everything is geared towards tennis.
TikTok is like nuts. Yeah, it's like apparently it just really hooks you in. Their
No,
algorithm is just
what they do is, when you back out of TikTok, you have to press it twice. So if you just press it once, how you would normally back out of any app, it will load the next story. So you have to double tap out. Otherwise, it's going to load the next story, and then you just get caught again. And then you just watch the next one again, and then you watch the next one again. That's your feed. The little code just to add a second back out increases their watch time. I don't know how many percentage. But they've also come up with some analytics, too, that maximum attention span of people. Remember how Vines was 6 seconds? A little too short. But it's about 10 to 20 is like the cream of the crop, where if you do something around 10, you can load the next thing and people will stick. But if it's too long, then they'll get bored and they'll want to back out. Or if it's too short, then it's like, okay, well, then it's not enough substance.
The
So-
other part of TikTok is it made me feel like a pedophile.
because it's all young
yeah,
people.
it's all young.
It's all these girls that I'm pretty sure are under 15, but they look like they're 19 or 20, and they're all dancing
Oh, God.
in a certain
Right.
way.
Right. Yeah. Like that.
TikTok, great.
Well, I think it's gonna replace Instagram. Like Instagram is now like for older people now. It's an older gen thing.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, you know, Reels is doing the same kind of thing, and there's a little more functionality to Instagram.
Yeah, Reels.
But I can second that.
I
All
feel
of my
like
younger cousins don't use Instagram anymore.
no, yeah,
really?
when too many old people use it, young people don't want to use it. That's why Facebook.
Oh,
No one
yeah.
uses
Right off.
Facebook
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
Like
I
all
do that.
anyone under, I'm pretty sure anyone under 20 doesn't use Facebook anymore. But they might have Instagram, but they're definitely on TikTok. And then you're like,
Oh, wow.
Very true.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was always late to all those social media stuff. Like, I still remember when Facebook was university only,
Hmm.
and I still refused to get it for
Like,
like
you needed an
years,
invite or
and
something,
it wasn't
right?
until yeah, it wasn't until 2K6, right after all 2K6s. Just because you guys were all on it, so I'm like, oh, I guess I have to be. Even Instagram, I was super late too. So you asked me about Snapchat and TikTok and whatever else, I got nothing.
Yeah, maybe this isn't a good control group to compare social media usage. I think we're all kind of have a good mental
I feel like
fortitude where we don't need validation from metrics like
Well,
that.
I mean, when I was using Instagram, yeah, I still went for the dopamine hits and things like that. But
I mean,
I think
that's
we
why you
talked about
hashtag.
them last
I
week.
mean,
Yeah.
people
But
hashtag.
a lot of it for me afterwards was accountability. If I didn't post, it was because I knew I didn't do something,
Yeah.
which is why my usage like cut dramatically. I used to post all the time because it was like it was indoor climbing or outdoor climbing or like fresh fit or volleyball. Like it was always something active. And then, you know, when quarantine hit, there was nothing active to do except for like the quarantine challenges, and those are stories. So like my posting dropped a lot.
Okay, what about how long you spend on your feed? Like, how many people you actually follow?
Uh,
I don't know how other people use it, but like, I don't really care for my feed. But like, you guys chime in. Is there's like someone you like? I want to know what this person did today, and you like. Is this something like that?
I use Instagram a lot. I still use it a lot.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's the way I'm able to connect with because all my friends in the US anyway are like, it's nice for me to catch up and see what everyone's up to. And so I still use it just for that.
Do you
So,
dedicate
like,
a certain time of day, a certain time in your routine where you do it?
when I'm on the toilet? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
like most people.
That's, I think, everyone does that now.
yeah, like before bed, maybe. Like, I'll take a look, you know. But actually, usually now it's like dating apps is what I'm looking at. So, not so much. Yeah.
These days?
What?
Are you saying these days, just dating apps you're looking at in the toilet?
Yeah, like before I go to bed or if I'm in the toilet. Yeah, it's like.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that update. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Broke up in like a couple months ago. So.
Oh,
Good.
damn. Okay. News. I mean, that's the one after the one we knew. This is the one we never knew. I guess.
I don't even know which one
I
you
don't
guys
think we
knew.
met.
Oh,
I knew about
The one in Canada?
she from Saga.
Yeah, so the
Black.
one from Saga. No, yeah, that one ended like the beginning of quarantine.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
I
started
think.
seeing one in Detroit, and that ended because she got a job in LA.
Oh.
Oh, that sucks.
Eh.
Oh, so not the one that I met when you were dating 6 at the same time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It was the seventh one.
Oh, the seventh one. Okay. Gotcha.
Kidding, Dr. Popo Paul.
That flex is real. Okay. Well, good. Nice segue, Paul, into the next uses of social media. Into the
Speaking
dating
of
scene.
relationships and no relationship.
Perfect. No, I mean that was the
God
plan. I mean, you saw the subjects in the chat there. That's where I kind of wanted to go into from social media usage. It's just like all these apps, but the dating scene. Does anyone though want to chime in any more on the app usage at all? Not app, social media. I'm just curious because Paul said, you know, he dedicates time to follow up on people. Obviously, I get it though because he grew up with people in Toronto, yet he's out there in Detroit now, and you've got that isolation going, right? So it's like,
Oh yeah, no.
we don't
like,
see you on a nightly basis here in the chat. So it's like we see each other every night on this Discord. So we don't even probably look at our Instagrams that much unless it pops up. Unless it forces us to look at each other's Instagrams because we keep tabs on a nightly basis. But
Paul,
like,
do you work more often now than
No,
before?
I actually work less.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
As a resident, you work like a dog, but as an attending, it's like a lot better. So
Oh,
Lucky duck.
yeah,
nice.
So
pretty
you like
good.
your sitch there?
Pretty- I love my sit here.
Oh,
I
Okay,
really-
cool.
good.
That's good, man. Okay. All right. So yeah. Yes, please.
No, I was just gonna say I use the social media and stuff to like keep tabs on all my friends and family and like from all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you and Paul.
Mhm.
Are you a double tap liker just to make them know that you saw it? Are you only liking things if you actually feel like this deserves extra attention, so I will like it? Do you comment to talk about the content you just saw? You know how some people just flick through and like just to be like present?
Yeah.
Just like, look, I looked at your thing. Here's a like. Because you can't. Stories does that automatically. If you look at someone's stories, they know you looked at it if they check, and everybody checks. And then, but yeah, like you said, you keep tabs. So do they know?
Yeah.
Do they know you're looking at their stuff?
Yeah.
Is that the function of your
to
like?
speak on stories, like if I actually laugh at the story I'm watching, then I do the laugh emoji. Like I'll actually like send.
Oh, you'll
that,
comment.
'cause I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll comment.
Yeah, I would do that.
I'll
too.
interact. But like, yeah, if I see someone posting and like I haven't thought about them in a while and they post something, I'll like it for the sake of liking it and saying like, hey, like I saw it.
Mm.
No.
I don't really like a lot of things. I know that sounds terrible, but I just go through and if there's something I want to chat to someone about, then I'll probably comment.
Comment. Okay, not DM.
Yeah, but actually comment or DM. It depends on who it is or what I want to chat about. But yeah, it's hard to also like keep up with so many people. So just seeing what they're up to is just nice.
Miss Popular here. Too many to
Okay.
keep track of.
No, it's just I'm
kidding.
sorry.
I get it. Oh, I get
Sorry,
it.
we don't have as many friends as you do.
I
No, it
mean,
makes sense. I get it.
mental health has been. I like the focus that this last year has put on mental health, and people are more open to talk about it. People are more open to talk about the roller coaster, the swings up and down. You know, when they're going through something kind of a low. I definitely, I'll admit too that when I'm on a low, that stuff makes a bigger impact on me. Seeing more likes or seeing, I don't know if I've gone to the point where I felt I needed to post something to get that kind of feedback. It wasn't, you know, where someone might just post for the sake of getting the feedback rather than the content. You know what I mean? Like that reliance on getting something out of it. But you guys, do you guys ever use an app in that manner or Instagram?
I'll
all
give you
based
likes,
on
FJ.
No, don't see the like bomb thing. I don't count those. I don't count those. But I don't like how the apps will only show you your top whatever 5 or 10 now, unless you've interacted with someone recently. They won't show up for you on your feed. You know that much, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Really?
I didn't know
Mhm.
that.
So let's say you follow. Hey, what's up, DayDay? You're welcome. Hey. So yeah, let's say you follow 100 people, right? And they're all posting, but only the handful of people you've interacted with the most will show up at the top. If you or even Facebook or Instagram. Instagram's different. If you scroll enough, you'll see everyone's, but definitely, you know, like the order of your stories at the top. Everyone could be posting a story, but only the first 5 is the people you've either purposefully looked at, like in the last week or so or something like that. And yeah, you'll go on maybe days and months without even knowing that this person's still active until you look for them and then all of a sudden they'll pop up earlier in your feed and things like that.
Okay.
I don't like that. I purposefully keep my following low, like a lower number, so I could watch everyone that I follow. But now they won't even do that. Now there's so many ads. Now you have to like flick through ads in your feed, which I don't like either.
Ads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Instagram.
there's ads on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the
Oh
sponsored
yeah,
posts
the
and stuff.
sponsored stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Whoa, Anjay, what's up? How's ramen?
It wasn't very good. I overcooked the noodles. Sorry.
Did you know that that thing beside her is not a mic? It's a
It's a light.
It's a mic.
It looks like a mic. It's a makeshift.
It's a mic.
It's just to
I
make it
don't know
look
why
like
Sharon's trolling.
Anyone watching this would be like,
microphone.
"What is this dumb kid doing talking into a light?"
Excuse me, this isn't a light. It's a microphone.
And this is my spoon.
I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. DayDay, you coming in?
I'm there. I had to crop the webcam, so I can't do the video. I gotta do the screen thing. I don't know if that.
The screen thing.
You're streaming? Oh, I gotta add your stream.
He's streaming his cam.
I will
yeah.
add the stream. There it is.
Oh, thank you.
So you will be present. Gotcha. Oh, Tyler was there the whole. Oh, did Tyler just come in?
Kyle's watching.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
listening.
Hi,
But
Tyler.
Oh, look at this big room, guys. Oh, it's just like.
Guys, make me feel I need to put my camera on.
Yeah. Are you decent?
I am sloppy, is what I am. I'm ready for bed.
So the segue. We'll do the run at the end. So it pertains, I guess, to people who are searching. So Paul, it's good that I'm not the only one on this in this grid of people looking.
Sure.
But yeah, the shift in the dating scene, or well, we'll definitely shift over to actual existing relationships too. But I guess we can start with the dating scene. I think, from what I've observed in the last year, that the dating apps have blew up in saturation. Like, there's way more new accounts and active users on there, but it's kind of counterintuitive to everyone kind of like refusing to engage with people because of COVID and staying away, social distancing. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just not so great at these apps. But you know, there's a lot more accounts, but I'm not getting matches. I'm just not.
What are you using? Which app are you using?
I use Tinder, Bumble, OKC, Hinge,
Okay.
Coffee Meets, and Facebook. I kind of want to prove that Facebook dating will work. I want to find her there.
Which one was like you seem to be matching the most in?
Matching?
Or yeah, like, you know,
None.
none?
Like I'll
Not
get
even on
likes.
Hinge?
I'll get likes on OKC, but I don't
Okay.
seem to be reciprocating those. Like, I don't know who they are. I don't pay. I paid for a couple of months. I think I paid for Tinder 1 month, and then I paid for OKC another month. But then I was like, okay, this is stupid. It's not working. Waste of money.
Okay.
But Hinge,
'Cause I
no.
use
Hinge, everyone speaks so highly of Hinge, and I don't get anything. No matches on there. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I suck.
Hinge is advertised. It looks like a scam.
No,
Yeah,
it's
because I use Hinge. Like, I had Bumble, then I just quit that. But like Hinge, I've had like significantly way more matches on Hinge than I've had on like Bumble or Coffee Meets Bagel or anything like that. I don't use Tinder because like
Does it?
the interface in Tinder is just like in my face, and I hated it. I was like, I can't. It gives me a headache. So I
Okay.
couldn't use Tinder. And then yeah, Bumble, I felt like Bumble was just like kind of dead. Like, I tried it for a week and I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. But Hinge I like because I feel like there's a lot more creativity in terms of like responses and how you could like engage with people.
Really?
And so like that's how I met my ex-girlfriend, and like that's where I'm getting the most like matches is in Hinge. So
Are you on there fairly new?
so like yeah, like I got it like 2-3 weeks ago.
That's
And
pretty
then-
new. Okay.
Yeah, and but usually if I get bored of it, like I'll close it for a week and just like, you know, I'll wait until I see like new fresh faces on it or whatever, then I'll
Mhm.
reopen it again in a week. Like I'll pause my account.
Oh, you'll actually pause
But
it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I'll pause my account. But yeah, it's been pretty good here. I think okay, but I was talking to my friend about this. All right, Asian guys in Detroit, most of them are really fobby or kind of nerdy looking. So
To us,
if you
kidding.
kind of if you're more American looking, like more like, you know, American raised or Canadian raised,
Yeah.
CBC or you know, you're gonna get a lot more matches. Like you're a rare Pokemon here, you know. And in Toronto, you're not, right?
Oh,
But if
true.
you're here,
True.
like if you're here, you stick out. Like you stick out. And I think that's a good reason why I'm getting like a bunch of matches here.
So I should go to Detroit. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm telling you should come to Detroit. And I'm talking about like every race. Like every race is like, you know, I'm matching with like, you know, Latina,
Full
with,
spectrum.
You know, yeah, African Americans, and the ones that I'm not matching with much is Asians. It's like everyone else, like white girls, like I'm matching with all of that, but like Asians. Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
So America isn't racist? What?
Nah, man.
I'm kidding.
I think
Tyler, what are you using?
they're
Tyler,
intrigued-
you've been on.
They're
some
intrigued
maps,
by
right?
what they're not familiar with. They're intrigued by what they don't see on a regular basis, I think.
Curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Mystery.
I saw my friend's Hinge, and she's like in Detroit, and like I got to like look through like, you know, the competition.
Her
and I also
selection.
got to see- yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, like girls have it way different from guys. Like the experience from girls and guys in dating apps is completely different.
Yeah.
You know, guys will get rejected at the door. Girls get rejected when they're moving in. You know, like it's a completely different situation. Like,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting quote.
yeah.
Tyler,
But
Warren asked, how's your experience been here?
It's been pretty average. Like matches throughout are fairly average. Quality of girls though, better unhinged for me.
Quality. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Like date quality and like just conversations would be better on Hinge. Tinder is like talk for a bit, get ghosted real quick.
Yeah.
On Hinge things would like last a bit longer. Bumble was okay, that wasn't too bad. Kippo was kind of okay. It's kind of alright, but
I
that's
don't know
about
about
it.
that one. Okay. It's a new one.
Kippo, dating app for gamers.
Oh.
what?
Yeah, just
Ideas.
released in Canada like a month or two ago. So.
That's fairly fresh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well,
I can't. So for me, just the
mhm.
reason I'm not on them, I can't use them here in Lloyd. Like a lot of them, I would have taught dance to. Like a lot of people, they're either past students or they're like. I've told you this before. They're like.
What's wrong
my
with that,
age
though?
over, like
What's wrong with past students, though?
I'd be a little less
That'd be
apt
so
to.
awkward.
It does feel
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah.
It's a different
I
connection.
agree. That's why I never used it when I was in Saginaw, because Saginaw's a small town. Now I'm in Detroit, and I actually work like 40 minutes outside of Detroit. So like there's a distance. Like I would never use my app if I was like living in the same city, you know?
Mm. No, but have you noticed? I mean, Tyler, you've been using it a lot, like a year, over. Okay, and Paul too.
Like which one?
You used
Like,
it to meet your last girl, so that was after pandemic too was announced, right?
Yeah, that was after pandemic. Yeah. I
And
used
you've had
Hinge.
experience before COVID too, using apps.
Yeah, I used Coffee Meets Bagel mainly before.
So did you notice like a surge of users? Because like everyone's relying on these to meet people now. You can't meet people outside anymore.
I mean,
Are you?
I
Are
don't
you
know
still
how
meeting
many
people
people
outside?
are on, so I can't really tell if there's a surge. I don't know how many like users are actually on it. You know,
From your
so-
experience, did you feel like there was more people using it, or you can't tell? If you're in a big city, you
I
can't
can't tell.
Well,
Yeah,
depending
because
on
you're
how
always gonna get a constant stream of people.
Depending
I can
on-
tell. Small city, I can swipe 10 times and it's over.
and then you run out, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you run out. Exactly. It's also based on like your metrics, like how picky you are with your metrics or how specific you are with your metrics. You can run out if there's just not enough of a
I
pool,
guess I just
selection
haven't
pool.
ran out.
Now
I
you
mean,
have
I ran out of the Asian ones because there's not many Asian people here. But aside from that,
Oh man, I ran out of women. I better check the men then.
But that's a good point too, as you said. Like, see, Tyler and I have the similar kind of choice pool here, but then because it's so common mainstream, this Canadian-born Asian, not just fob Asian, and we have such a wide spectrum. There's so many people from different spectrums in this melting pot. It's not unique. It's not like special. I guess it's just and anyone can kind of just go for what they want to go for. I don't know. I do think
I did like straight up, like I do notice this, and I don't know if it's unfair of a thing, but I do find that women in America tend to be a lot more open to being approached or talked to, or engaging in that sort of thing, like way more than Canadian, in my
Really?
opinion, or at least Toronto.
I thought that was a North American thing, but it's just Toronto.
It's just Toronto. I mean, I've lived in Miami, I lived in New York, and I lived in Detroit. And I have to say, Toronto is probably the most like cliquey, like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know you, and I'm not going to talk to you or anything. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's fair, but that's just from what I've seen, like my, you know, observations.
I think what I'm talking about in terms of like this surge in users or whatever is because, you know, before you could go out and go to a bar and meet people. You could make a Friday night or a Saturday night. You're going out with the boys or you go out with the girls as a social thing to meet people. And you don't have that anymore. Like, nobody can do that anymore. And even if you do go out grocery shopping or in the mall or whatever you go out to do, you're wearing a mask. You can't really see people what they look like. You can't check people out how you used to be able to check people out. So picking up people in person isn't a thing anymore. So then these online dating things is kind of like a surge. I get all these ads now of the new ones.
So like
again, just because you get these ads, it's the algorithm.
It's because I'm using it. I'm getting the ads because I'm
Exactly.
using it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other part of that, it's hard to make any generalizations unless you're seeing the data, seeing the company. I'm sure that that's a sound hypothesis, and that given the situation of the global pandemic, chances are people are going to be using these things a lot more often because of those, you know, the lack of outlet at a club or whatever.
Yeah, like
you
my
can't be at a
issue with,
bar.
like, dating apps is like there's so much pressure to make every text or message fire. Like it's because it's always like it's a short attention span. You know what I mean? Like you have to make sure every line you send is fire. You have to make sure you're trying to hook on the attention. You know, like it's like it gets tiring. It's like I pause it like for a week. You know, I'm just like I don't feel like entertaining this.
Yo, you
Like,
gotta be on
you
that
know.
meta game. You just have to understand the builds and the meta.
Like, all right, this is on the topic. Like, what lines do you use? Because I got two go-tos that seem to always work for me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did this whole like kind of study on it, but that was like 5 years ago where I did like a video review on how as you're right, the female experience on these apps is very different from the male experience. Like, I would say like males have to send out and swipe right on hundreds of accounts in hopes to hear back from maybe a dozen, whereas women don't even have to go to their swipey section because they just get a bunch of likes every time they swipe right on anyone. It's going to be a match. So they're filtering not from the choosing left and right section. They're filtering their inbox. They're filtering a bunch of people who've already sent them messages and likes and all that stuff. So it's a different, and they're just hoping to find one or a couple decent guys not sending, you know, unsolicited pics and whatever. Or just, you know, asking.
Hold on, wait. You said you did your own personal study on this stuff? Did you do like I'm FJ the girl?
No.
Like that would be a cool fun study if
I
you
didn't do
pretended
that, no.
to be the girl and just grab pictures of
just catfish
somebody.
Like, I gotcha.
I think so. Maybe also it's the fact that like the people who were on it before were on it because, you know, when you had the choice of being able to meet people in person, you had that separation. The people who went on the apps because they knew they wanted to find someone on the apps, and those people who didn't want to be on the apps stuck to in-person meetings. But now that their in-person meetings isn't a thing, they're all on the apps, and some people don't even want to be on there, but they're on there because they know there's no other way they're going to meet anybody. So that's what I mean. Like this experience for me, I've used it, I don't know, 6 years ago, and comparing to how I use it now, it's different. It just feels different. The engagement is a lot less. It's because there's such a large pool, people are able to move on to something a lot quicker. Where you're saying, Paul, each message has to be fire. Yeah, because if it's not, they could just go to the next one so easily because there's so many. So I've tried to.
I found that's always been the same. It just depends on like for me, like success hasn't been like it's not a matter like it's always gonna be a numbers game no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's a numbers
when
game.
it comes to dating. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's always been the same pre-COVID, post-COVID, or whatever during COVID. It's more like a time push of when you want to do it, because there are surges of like times a year when people are more active on it. People are actually looking for things.
Yeah.
That's my experience. So.
December, February.
December, February. I've had a lot of I have a lot of good like matches like beginning of school year, so September. Last June to August was amazing for Toronto when they started lifting restrictions. That was a lot of matches.
True.
Yeah.
Define good.
Is it just like getting matches and people
Actually
like
getting
actually
matches.
and people being interested in conversation and like developing something. Yeah.
Like actual quality conversations, and not just getting like,
where they're down
not-
for like actually meeting and dating or
Yeah.
exchanging some kind of intellectual, not just
We're socially distancing responsibly.
like I'm sure have you come across those who are on there. I don't know. In the past, I've heard of people who are in relationships who will start an account just to see if they will get that kind of attention on. It's like a validation thing, like a like, you know, like
some people do that.
Like that's anyway.
Yeah, some people do that.
And then it's awkward when you get matched with your significant other.
Well, no, you would hope that they
Like, you
told
find
each
them?
other that they know that they
No,
know.
I'm just saying that would be super awkward if that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just thinking, like, you know how you mentioned how there's a surge and like, you know, girls have totally different experience because they have to filter through all these, you know, messages and from all the, I guess, volume of guys that they get messages from. But is that really different from outside of the apps?
That's true.
we have girls in the call. We should ask
It's
them.
the same. It's pretty much
Yeah,
the
but
same
they're
thing,
not on
just
the
different
apps.
platform, right?
Are you?
No, but I'm saying like in normal, like in like people who don't even use the apps, right? I'm sure they experience the same thing, no? Like if you're
What do you think, Jay? You've used it before.
Yeah. How was your experience?
I mean, I don't
Spotlight.
know. I,
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
No, talk into your light. It's not working anymore.
Yeah, we can't hear. There.
what do you want to know?
Can I get the number 2 combo?
How dare you?
No, but what DayDay just asked was, in your outdoor, regular off the app experience, do you feel like you get approached just as much as you do in the apps? Is that what you asked, DayDay?
Oh my god.
No. I meant like the experience is different. Like, you know, guys are usually the ones to approach anyway, like outside of the apps too. So in girls' perspective, I feel like they don't really have that much of a difference in experience when trying to filter out people and trying to find that right guy, you know, whether it is through the apps or not.
Yeah, but a lot of guys, okay, I can't generalize with that statement, but I know that many guys will take their app and just do this without looking.
But those,
And a lot of them do
they don't
that.
actually do that on a lot of the apps now.
They limit. You have a daily limit now.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can pay, and then they remove that limit if you pay, and then guys will pay and then do this, and then you know.
Nah, I don't do that.
I'm cheap. I don't have the money to do that. Oh yeah, but in terms of the lines, what's my go-to line? My friend said it once. Female. She's like, if they like you, it doesn't matter what you say. If they see your picture and they see your profile, no matter what you say, if they like you already, doesn't matter what you say. So I used to like try to read their profile and try to pick something out from their profile, right? And you guys,
I don't know if that's true. Does everyone agree with that?
I don't agree with
No,
that.
You know,
you could say you want to
I
check
don't know
out
what
my
kind of
build.
girls like. I don't know.
What I'm saying by it doesn't matter what you say is like, let's say you come up with some really nice thing that you read their profile, and then you write something that ties with their profile. They see your picture, and they're not attracted to you. So doesn't matter what you said. They if they weren't attracted to you, they're not going to answer. But if you open up a line of conversation with like, hey, how's it going? And that's it. And then they see it, and then they look at your profile, and they find you attractive, they'll answer you, regardless of what you said in the beginning. As long as it's, polite, at least, not just like, hey, DTF. You can't just do that.
I feel like this resounding is like, good luck, FJ.
Well, here's the thing. All this feedback is coming from people who don't use it. So, like, how would you know?
I know. That's right.
Okay, well,
have you used it, Mike?
What's the female perspective?
who uses it? Can someone pitch in and?
I mean,
Jay
okay,
used
fine. Fine. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
This came from a female who
I'll
uses the
support
apps.
to Jay too. I've had experience with them.
but it's like, yeah, like, if you're hot and you say something stupid,
No, not stupid,
If
but
it-
let's just say they're just like, hey, what's
Like,
up?
hi.
Did it matter if they said, hey, what's up? Or, hey, oh my God, I really liked your profile. Let's talk, or whatever it is that the
yeah, that's
pickup
so
line
crazy.
is. Whatever the pickup line is. But if you already found them attractive, you just need that line of communication to open. Doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't swipe on anyone that I didn't find attractive.
Exactly.
Like,
Mm.
so
It's all based on the
like-
attraction. Like, it's
If
still.
someone
Yeah, but
just
there's
writes-
no like assumption that like if they're already set on talking to this person no matter what
No,
they
but,
say.
like, if you're matched already on Hinge, like, yeah, like, you're
They
already
had to
matched.
swipe. They had to
You find each
swipe
other
based on your look.
attractive.
Yeah.
But in order to continue the conversation, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, to fully engage in that. Like, you already have a
But-
conversation going.
to be fair, on Hinge, like, there can be someone that I don't actually. But then, if you see their answers and they're really funny, or like they say something really
Yeah.
cute on their profile, then like even if they're not hot or whatever to you, like I'd still swipe because it's like they were really funny and
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I do
so
the
I
same.
mean,
I'll do
I
that
think
too.
it's-
Sometimes I'll swipe right based on a good profile.
So I think with what FJ was saying about it doesn't matter what you say, I would think that's not true. You have to be saying something within the realms of like, okay, this person's actually worth talking to. You can't just say anything like gaga boo boo, hey girl. Like,
No,
you
what
don't
I'm
just
trying to say
anything.
is this.
Yeah, there's like it's not
No.
black and white.
Look at this
It's
example.
not black and white. That's right. There
If
is
you wrote a profile-
level of
No, what I'm trying to say, okay. When you're on the app, there's a section where you just go right or left based on yes or no. And that's purely based on probably the first photo. If you want to scroll through other photos, whatever. Right? There are some apps that allow you to send a message the very first time you swipe on them. I'm talking about that
Yeah.
scenario. So if you swipe right on someone, you can send a message right away. Okay? And
Even if they didn't swipe right to you.
yeah, it's your first message. It's your first
Oh,
intro
okay.
message. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Paul.
Yeah, I'm coming from the perspective where it's like to continue a conversation. to
You're
actually
already
start a
in a
conversation
mix.
and get
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I mean by like the lines is like, yo, to quote Biggie, spit your game and talk your shit. You know,
See,
and so like,
I feel like,
Like,
I don't.
yeah.
That's why I don't like Hinge limits your characters for how much you can write in your bio. You know what I mean? Like you can't even write
Yeah.
everything you want to write. I like the apps where you can read someone who wrote something the way they wanted to say it. I have apps where I wrote a lot because I feel like if they're gonna read through my bio and they like what they read or they like my photos, you don't need to spit that game in the conversation or try to keep it up because they're interested. Like I'm not here to
You
like
know what-
try and
you know
win
how-
someone over with witty pickup lines. If they're interested, they would have known they're interested already by reading my bio. If I don't want to earn their attention every time I'm messaging them with every line has to be fire. I feel like I don't even. Why would I want to work for that? I don't know.
You
It's
know
like-
what I would say to that is, like, the way these dating apps are set up is that everything happens. It's like Instagram. You're just going through it. You're just glancing at it. They give you a limit because you want to be concise. You don't want to ramble. Like, of course, you're a more complex person, but that's what talking to them after is for. Like, you can't just give everything all at once, all in one go.
Okay.
That's just the way I think it's supposed to set up. And think
Yeah.
about it from like a
There are apps that
girl
are
point of
made
view.
that
They
way.
don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like a resume. Like, you don't want to read a 5-page resume. You want to read like a
Yeah.
1-page resume.
It's true.
Yeah,
And
you want
you're right.
cliff
kinda-
notes. You don't want encyclopedia. You want
Yeah.
cliff notes.
Yeah, but
Well,
that in itself,
who are you speaking on
is the
behalf
thing.
of? You don't want an encyclopedia. You want Cliff Notes. Who are you speaking on behalf of right now? A young person?
But-
You.
Well,
But,
okay,
like-
you know,
No, but I
get,
think in
I
the
get,
same
I,
case,
I
like,
get what you're
that's
trying
like
to do.
Regular dating.
Yeah, that's what I was
If you're
gonna say.
trying to meet
It's kinda
someone on the
mimic-
outside, it's like if I think someone's pretty and I was looking for someone, I wouldn't go up to them, hey, like your shirt is awesome, I love your style, like you play volleyball, like I really like to do this, but you look good, and what drink are you getting? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think it's the same. If
Well,
you're
here's-
just trying to throw everything,
Okay.
but like I think I agree with you to the point where it's like, okay, it shouldn't matter like the exact way you initiate. If they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. And I think in that perspective, it doesn't matter about that. But I don't think that whatever you say will work. I think there is still that limit to.
Okay.
It's still
I
a
mean?
first impression kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
if it's a
Yeah,
bad first
it's a first
impression, they're not gonna
impression
want it. Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Okay, I'm speaking specifically about a specific scenario where I was talking about if you swipe right on someone, and you're allowed to say an intro message, that first intro message, and
Yeah.
and the guy's numbers game is about getting the foot through the door with as many people that he may find attractive with. He's actually genuinely interested, hopefully, not just swiping blindly right on everyone, but the people he is actually attracted to. He's maybe anywhere between 5 to 100 right swipes a day. Let's just say if he's got no physical limit of how many times he can swipe. But is he going to? Do you think if it's a numbers game, is he going to read 100 profiles and think of some witty response unique to that person every time? Like
Potentially.
So, as a
I'm
guy
not
who's
gonna-
using these apps, Hinge, like you just swipe through it really quick. If it's attractive and and you feel like, okay, I want to, talk to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm
But
read
your
through it real
conversation starts when you match. So you've already built that connect, like, right? The connection starts where you've already
quick. No, the match
established there's
starts
mutual
from a like,
interest.
So I wouldn't say it's a real, yeah. There's always like, it starts off with that, but, or you can leave a comment, and if the comment, they see it, yeah. But, I mean, I think having a witty or something that sticks out, because they probably get like 20,000, hey, how
They
are
do.
you?
They do.
Versus like,
I asked
something
this
that kind of sticks out.
this attractive person that I matched with one day. I was like, "How many messages do you get a day?" This was when Plenty of Fish was still kind of before all the bots and all the fake accounts or whatever. And she's like, "I get about 1,000 messages a day." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Holy crap!" And then like, how did you, like, it's like, how do you
Maybe to laugh.
filter 1,000 messages a day? Well, those are obviously the apps where you don't have to pay to send the message. You don't, anyone can message you. That's why they limit it on Bumble. The girl has to start the conversation, and Hinge, you have to have a match in order to have a conversation, and then all these other apps, right? So, and you usually have to pay for that kind of interaction. When I said it doesn't matter what you say, I'm not saying it doesn't matter what you say in order to woo them and for them to for you to win their heart. I'm
You're
saying
just talking about the initial match.
for them to answer you back.
Oh, okay.
For them to answer you back the very first time. It doesn't matter what you say. If they don't find you attractive, they're not going to answer whatever you say. Or even the funny thing, they would have just spent the time reading the bio if there was a bio to read that's funny, like what Jay mentioned. Yes. So you earned it with the bio, not the opening line. Like, it's like, so basically,
That's not to rule it out, though. You can
I'm ju-
still.
I'm just
kind of win
saying,
someone over with
I
an
had
opening
the
line.
experience of like, I used to read every profile that I came across, and if I found them that I wanted to swipe on them and I got to send a message, I'd personalize it to them. And that got tedious and old fast because it's like, I just never heard back from like 95% of them you never hear back from. So it's like, okay, so then it's a numbers game. And this is when my female friend, who gets a lot of like, obviously she got a lot of matches or whatever easily. She's successful on these apps. She's like, FJ, it doesn't matter what you say on that first line. If they think you're attractive or they like you, they'll answer you back. And that was, so I was like, I switched from personalized messages to, hey, how's it going? Hey, whatever their name is, how's it going? And I would send whoever I matched with, or whoever I would right swipe to, if I can send it, I would send that. And then I got way more success rate with that line, return back, just because I was getting more right swipes rather than spending 5-10 minutes personalizing each message that I read. I'm only getting, let's say, 10 swipes. No, not per. Okay, okay. So you have a go-to line. You have a copy-paste line. You're
I
saying.
have 2 go-to lines.
See, but that's a copy-paste line. So
I've
it
been
does.
waiting to hear them. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
One is
Why do you need to know them?
if they.
I'm just curious.
Oh, he's giving his secrets away.
I like girls with big earrings.
Oh yeah, dude. Do you want the whole YouTube? Well, 3 people watching.
If they have like, big hoop earrings, I always comment on that picture on Hinge and be like, "Is it true what they say? The bigger the hoops, the bigger the heart." And I always 100%
The 2 girls.
100%.
They're live.
100%. That's actually how I started dating my ex-girlfriend. That line. Anyways, and then the
So you
other
still
one,
use it?
I still use it, and I actually just matched with a girl today with that. So
Hey, nice.
another one that I use. I learned this from my buddy who learned it off Reddit, which is hilarious, and it actually seems to work. I was like just testing it out. Just say sunrises or sunsets? ? And they always answer. They always answer.
Shows you you're deep. That's cool.
Yeah.
The
And
last
then you
match
can
that I
follow it
got,
up
I
with,
said,
like-
"What's in your PC?" That was my opening line.
Let's
And then you
choose.
follow it up with like with sunrise with sunsets. You just follow it up with like, so what music's playing in the background, and then it just leads to this whole conversation. works.
Okay. Okay.
That's a
It
decent
works.
one.
Okay.
I like that
Oh,
one better than
cosign,
the first
cosign.
one.
One thing I will
DayDay
say
would
in
never
terms
use
of
the
what the
first.
whole the original dating apps, what they were made for. It was like the first ones with like Lava Life, eHarmony, where they
Oh
were
my
like
God, that's
you
a
were-
long time ago.
yeah.
Wow.
you were signing up for these things to find someone. To like that's why you went on them. Like you wanted to find a partner. And that's why the whole long profile thing, people who signed up for these things knew that they were going to have to read in and write about a lot about themselves so that they could be matched with someone who like, you know, is supposedly like optimal for them, and then you get a lasting relationship. That was the original structure of these apps, to match people who couldn't meet people in real life or in person.
Yeah.
It's not that anymore, right? So yeah, that's why you have these some apps where you can't write a lot at all, or you have the ones that you write a book or an essay or a resume or whatever like that. And it also, yes, depends on what you're looking for, like where you are in your life. Like, are you looking for a hookup? Are you looking for someone short term or just casual, or are you looking for the
I also think
wifey?
people don't know
or
what they're looking for though, and that's fair.
a lot of people don't know.
Like, a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
people
right,
on these-
and that's fine.
Yeah, a lot of people are on these apps and just like, if it happens or like this leads to something, okay, cool. But like, I'm just gonna be on it and see what's on the menu.
Yeah,
You know? I mean, that's how I'm approaching it right now.
yeah.
I
And
don't
that's
even know what I
probably why you're getting more activity from that. Like I'm very picky at this point in my life, I guess, too, and based on what I've experienced, and also too learning about like, you know, let's not do long distance anymore, FJ. So it's like the radius has like shrunk quite a bit. If I there are times where it's like, let's say during last year, COVID, loneliness, depression, long distance didn't work out, where I was like, all right, let's just open it up to the world. And that's when I got the most activity, because you're right, people outside of Toronto are, I don't know, more welcoming to someone like me, apparently, than anyone here in Toronto. So it's like, but then I'm not looking for just this experience or spending that kind of time and effort on something like that anymore. Like I'm that part of my life, you know? So, anyway.
Just move to Detroit, man. You'll kill it here. Just move to Detroit.
Yeah, but
You'll kill it here.
it's America.
Yo, trust me, I think you'll kill it here.
Yo, all the moms would love you, FJ. Like, you came here, all the mommies, literal mommies. with,
Yeah,
like,
they're
2
all-
kids, 3 kids.
They all have, yeah, that's well, that's another metric too, to, you know, how specific you want to be, and yeah, if they've had kids already in the past or not. Okay, let's like, okay, anyone else want to, Tyler, Paul, other singles, want to say anything else about the app thing? Because we're going to segue into relationships.
I didn't know that dating app was so hard. Like,
I mean, it's only, it depends on like how much you're looking into it. Like, if you're like,
Yeah.
you know, for
'Cause
me,
you're a
it's
girl.
something I do to kind of pass the time, and it's, I wouldn't say it's hard, because to me, it's just.
but
I'm
it
not
sounds
really-
so hard. Like everything that you guys are talking about.
'Cause we're
sounds so
guys.
complicated.
Well,
Because I'm a
when I
guy.
message
Point of
stuff,
view.
I don't expect anything. When I message you
Yeah.
stuff, it's more just like, shoot my shot and whatever. Like, if
I
it
think
leads to conversation, that's hilarious.
here's what you
But-
have going for you, Paul, and I'm not gonna just. This isn't meant to be some sort of like rude thing, but you're a doctor. Okay, that's a huge.
Yeah, I don't advertise that though on my apps.
Oh,
I
good.
don't think that matters.
Oh, dude,
Does it matter?
if you're an
Oh, I
artist,
think it would.
if you're an artist and you and someone or like the person I'm looking for long term whatever kind of long relationship and they see that I'm an artist, a photographer, do they see stability in long run? Do they think that I can earn enough for a family, or did like that kind of thing pops up? Like it's part of this whole evaluation process
That's so
too.
weird because it sounds
Yeah,
sexy.
that
man.
is.
Photographer.
It is.
But it's not. No, it's
No,
not.
like, because like
Starving
if-
artist,
if they
that's what it
do
sounds
start
like.
Bring up my career. I usually just stop talking to them because I don't know. I just feel weird.
You feel like they're gauging you based on the income.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've come across that
So
too.
I actually stopped talking to them. Like,
Yeah.
like yeah, when that happens. But
That's good, man. You could do that.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
easy
right
for
now-
me. Like there's a button in the app and it says uninstall. So you know, like
So it's easy for you.
because I don't use it. I don't. It's not that like I haven't actively been looking. That's why.
That's why if you have no desire to find, you wouldn't be on there. Like I definitely my usage on that. Let's say how many hours or screen time I'm spending on those apps is higher when I'm depressed. It's higher when I'm feeling lonely. But if I'm in a good spot, I'm in a good place mentally. I'm driven. I've got things to do. I've got work to work on. I've got content to make. I'm not on there, and I spend less.
But that's
time
when you're most confident, you know?
Yeah.
That's when you should shine. 'Cause
But
if you're the other way around, you're gonna like that's not. Gonna,
You're right.
you know?
I totally believe that if you're looking, you're not gonna find someone who's good for you because you're always gonna want to change yourself for them. But if you're not looking, you are who you are, and whoever's gonna fall for you then is falling for who you actually are. I genuinely believe that. But now with COVID, and now with my employment or whatever kind of line of work that I'm in, where I'm at home, online, streaming or making content, where is my what's the word? How am I being what's the word? Exposure. How am I being exposed to anybody in this manner? Unless they're looking. Unless I'm actually presenting myself in a place where, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for too. Otherwise, I'm not. I don't have a job where there's a big company, hundreds, thousands of employees that I can like meet new people. I'm not in school anymore where you can meet someone who's in your class or whatever like that. You know, like my pool of people that I meet and converse with is very small nowadays. So that's why it's hard. It's hard to meet people.
Hi, Hiji.
EG agrees.
So, segueing into relationships, then people who were in relationships pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID. Now we have a few couples in this chat. So I guess we can start with the people who don't live together. So the difficult, like I've had a conversation with like a couple who, yeah, you guys will be last. Where, you know, you have parents, you live with your parents. Two people live separately with their parents, but they have to think about the bubble, you know, like distancing, safety for your parents if you're going to. Obviously, we have an example of that in this chat as well. So, chime in on that. Was there a change post-COVID on your behaviors? Obviously, yes, everyone was kind of careful at first. Like you limited your FaceTime, you limited your visits, but then that laxed over time because people got tired of waiting and sick and the distance. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. We just want to be socially responsible, but I mean, I think there's multiple things you're looking at there. Now you're looking at people who care about quarantine, and then relationships. I think those are two different factors.
Yeah, I just made sure to wear a mask whenever I visited Dan and slept in his bed.
Yeah, you know.
Excuse me? Warren, we need to have a chat after this.
Whatever you have to say to me, you can say to Dan too.
Yes, but just not everybody else on the call.
You said there's a difference between like following safety protocols and then prioritizing the relationship. But no, it's a balance, right? Like there's a reasonable
There's an
middle
echo.
ground that you guys have chosen in order to maintain your relationship. Like a lot of relationships ended because of this. Or even people who do live together, long lasting marriages are experiencing more domestic violence now, because now there's no space at home. You know, you used to go from like having your 8 hours a day doing your own job, 8 hours a day the other person has their own job. You have your kids going to school. Now everyone's in the same house all day, and they don't have that space, that comfort zone where you get a little bit of isolation. Everyone's in your face all the time, and it's driving people crazy. People are going through mental like obstacles right now, relationship. Well, that's you guys are an example where I think like it was an improvement for you guys. It actually helped you guys because, you know, can I speak specifically about you guys on this?
Can he psychoanalyze you real quick?
Well,
I'm kidding.
Mike chose to spend the majority of his time at Sharon's, you know, and given her profession too, with her exposure with potential risks, the choice he's made was to, and it works out in terms of the dynamic of the relationship. If he was at home more, if he was with his parents more, he would be with her less. But,
Mike, would you be in that situation? What would be happening if you were at home?
Sharon would be really mad at me.
She would beat me. Domestic
like, actually, you can theorize. You have Mike right there.
What do you mean theorize? I'm talking to them.
What you gotta know?
It's true. Sharon would be really mad at me because we're used to seeing each other every day, literally.
Yeah. Well, we were used to that, and that's one of the reasons. And another reason is because we own a dog together, so we would have to
See the
take
laser in her
turns.
eyes.
What do you mean? I'm
Sorry,
following.
together, and it's like. And yeah,
Share
go ahead.
responsibility.
I mean, like we had more than one reason for him to make a choice of living here. I didn't ask him. He just ended up being here, right? I never asked you to live here. It's because I was working at a hospital at the time too. So he said if it's either he's gonna be able to see me or just stay at home. So that's why he chose to live here.
I mean, to me, it makes sense. Like, you have your options, you weigh them out, you made a decision, you're here now. Pre-COVID and during COVID, do you
don't think it would have made a difference? I think it would have.
Like, if he stayed at home instead?
If pandemic didn't happen, do you think you'd be living together right now?
No.
Yeah, that's what I
No
mean.
way.
The pandemic led to that, which has now showed you guys that you can live together and it functions together as a couple. You had that a lot sooner than you would have had it without the pandemic. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a benefit?
We would have moved together.
Oh yeah,
We
because
would've
we were
gone to
gonna move
Alberta.
to Alberta.
True. But still, like, that would have been 6-7 months later, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would have been September. So when did you guys? Yeah, it's
Pandemic was March.
Summertime.
April, May,
March.
June, July.
Yeah, like
6
right
months.
before summer, he moved in, so it did happen a lot quicker in a different,
Not the same scenario, but
not this. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
but living together, like actually, yeah.
It was
that worked out.
inedible.
But
Inevitable.
That was inedible.
I couldn't eat it.
But I think it goes well with you guys. I think just the dynamic of your relationship and the kind of people that you are, like, it worked out. But some people,
Yeah, I heard a lot. There are a lot of divorces, and they can't even proceed it because of COVID.
yeah, they have kids.
My coworker
too.
got divorced because of COVID.
Because of what? Like, why? So they were
'Cause he
living
was working
together
from home.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
and they couldn't handle each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
This was after like 5-6 years of their marriage.
And it was because they were working from home and they were always
Together.
fighting.
Yeah,
And they
they're
just
always
started
talking
fighting.
to each
Yeah,
other. And
a lot of
it's
that
pretty
is
much.
a lot of the common reason because of
Yeah.
COVID, and they realize they can't stand each other all the time.
Yep.
Because they have time to go to work if it wasn't for COVID, and they would have time like independently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the kind of couples who enjoy like the weekend away with the girls or the weekend away with the guys, where they need that kind of separation for their, I don't know, independence. But then there are a lot of relationships who work really well codependent, where they don't need a lot of that independent time, where they like doing everything together. They share the same pastimes and interests, and you know, you guys climb, hike, camp, all the things you like to do together. So it works out in those couples. But then not the ones who are like, well, I don't know, golf is my
they have
thing,
their
and they're
own,
like,
yeah.
like.
Mhm.
So that, okay, so yeah, would you say there was a shift in the ramp up of your relationship, Dan, Killa? Like, were you guys forced to make sort of adjustments? Was for both of you couples actually, was your communication improved because of COVID? Like you were forced to have to talk things more openly and candidly, or what? Or is just that's how you guys are anyway?
For us, I think it's the same. It's a little different because we started as COVID started. And like pre-quarantine, I wasn't even here for a whole month. So like we didn't even talk then.
It's true.
So I got
He was
back
with the
and then
boys.
it was COVID. So our relationship was during COVID. So we don't really have
Yeah.
a pre-COVID conception in our relationship. It's just always been COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
for the
hard for us
majority.
to really chime in.
To make a
And like I
comparison.
said, like during this time, it's not a matter of, you know, the relationship. It's more of a matter of like
Responsibility.
responsibility. We want to follow the rules just because we want to set good examples, and you know, we don't want to be hypocritical and complain about people who, you know, are just being very lax and then be those people. So that's,
I think like from the outside, me seeing other relationships, like I think COVID has implemented this like you have to be able to manage yourselves differently. In that situation of a couple that divorced each other, after a 5-year marriage, they just didn't manage themselves in such a way that they could have that peace of mind, having their own time away from each other. Like, easier said than done, obviously. And like for me, not being in a relationship, like I want to talk, I can't really say much to it. But from the outside in, it kind of looks like you just have to be able to find different ways of doing things, no different from anybody else, even if they're single. Like even the way we have to go work out and stuff, like things have changed. Your patterns changed. Relationships will have to, like, the way you manage it, you have to change it as well.
I think though, for that scenario where they've been together 5-6 years and then COVID happened and they're forced to have so much FaceTime together and then they couldn't handle it, it felt like that work should have been done years ago. Like that communication and whatever. Why? Not to say that that's an easy task, but like to discover it once you have all this up close time, and they weren't willing to communicate and figure out why they weren't able to handle each other. Like they, you know. I think that's it. From the beginning, it wasn't a very ideal match, but yeah.
But I feel like it's more than that, though. I think it's not just the fact that they couldn't stand each other. There's gotta be way more
other
reasons
factors.
of why.
Yeah. In that case, I don't think it would have been COVID as a reason. It's just COVID is something that was like a catalyst to show that there was problems. Yeah.
DayDay's coworker, if you're watching this, just kidding. Not really you. You weren't exposed at all.
They're not. They're
It's
not.
okay.
My
They're not
friends.
DayDay's friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're back to episode 1.
Back to episode 1.
They're gonna be like, "You're not my friend."
Man, I just went through a divorce. I thought you were my homie.
I'd be like, nope.
Told you that in confidence.
Well, that's why you don't say any
Exposed again.
names. That's why you don't say any names on here. Could be anybody.
Poor John.
Like I get like needing to communicate and work things out.
Where's Paul? I don't see his cam.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can
I
hear
hear
you.
you.
We can hear you. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
He's not
No,
decent.
because
that's
like
all.
It's on
Yeah, he went to bed.
Yeah, I'm in bed. So.
Oh, sorry.
Figured he was in the washroom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just swiping on Hinge right now.
Okay.
No. So like, I kind of get it though when people are separating during COVID, and I don't see it as a failure or anything. It's because like when people get married, when they sign up for it, they have this picture of like how their lives are fitting together right now, right?
Yeah.
And COVID, where there's just kind of thrown into this whole entire like whole situation where you're stuck with each other, but you guys are two separate people with two separate lives, you know, that just fit well with each other's life. And now you're kind of forced into this situation.
Yeah.
You know, like I get it where people are like, is this a failure of marriage? You guys were probably not meant to be, but I don't agree with that, because I think it's like you guys just weren't, you know, you guys are two separate individuals, and it just doesn't fit the definition that you signed up for, you know. So
it also it also depends on also how they viewed marriage, what it was, what it meant for them. Also, like fitting together, like lives fitting together. Some people might be content with what that means for marriage, or you're right. Like it's very specific for me to make a judgment on that, and it's very much based on what I would view when you make that decision to marry, a commitment, that level of commitment. But that's very personal.
And this has been a moment with Dr. Popo Papa Paul. Tune in next week when he psychoanalyzes all of us and tell us our deepest fears.
You know, my OnlyFans account, you know, say OnlyFans, then I'll do it, you know.
Hit him up on his Patreon and OnlyFans account.
Yo, Paul, sunrises or sunsets?
Oh man, you know, sunrises.
Does yours change per girl?
No, I always go sunrise.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I'm a morning person, so always go sunrise.
Oh, I get it. Morning wood, sunrise. Okay, cool.
You know, 3D test.
Romantic.
4D test. 4D test.
I'm hardest in the morning. Great, I get it.
Oh my god.
Sorry, was this supposed to be wholesome? I don't remember.
Okay, what about you, DayDay? Has there been any shift in how your relationship has carried before COVID and now? It doesn't look like it. It wouldn't seem like it.
Before COVID and now?
Or after?
No.
It's been the same, right? Like you had the kind of same lifestyle, so it just works.
Pretty much. I mean, we moved in way before COVID, right? So
that was established.
It hasn't.
But the FaceTime is way more now, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I don't go on like business trips anymore. I used to just work at office, so there wasn't any like periods where I'd be like gone for 3 weeks or a month, you know. And now it's like the other extreme where like I'm working from home all the time. So, but it's not that. I don't really feel that big of a difference.
It doesn't feel like you're claustrophobic in there, right? Like you give each other space, even though there's may not be a lot of physical space.
They just can't play the same games at the same time, otherwise they get mad at each other.
Not true.
I'm kidding.
It's usually her getting mad at me, but okay. I think it's better because there's more interaction now than before.
Oh.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't really
That's
know what
really
else to
good.
say. It's good.
I
I did have that, you know, like that whole worry about like, oh, what if, you know, we spent more time at like living together. That was all before we moved in, you know. Like COVID didn't change any of that. Like I didn't have any extra concerns because COVID made me work from home and there's more time. Like all that worry of like you know, thinking like what if, that was all before we moved in. So I'm like, we're past that already, you know. So
were you gonna say something, Sharon?
No.
Calm down.
I saw she was gonna say something and then she waited.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just thinking because what he was saying. I mean, because he was already in similar situation with Hiji before, so I guess it didn't make a difference. But then, the thing that I realized was, I feel like we talk less because we're always together now. You know what I mean? So like I still go to work and I come home and then I will like kind of force him to talk to me. I'll be like, "What did you do today? What did you eat?" It's like really pointless stuff, but like I'm like, okay, I just want to talk. But there isn't much to talk about because I already knew what what he was doing at home, what he ate.
I was eating with you.
I mean, like when I go to work and then come home, and then he'll be like on the computer, and then I'll be like, "Oh, what did you eat today? Did you walk Cody?" Okay, and then he's like, "Okay, what else do you want to talk about?" I'm like, "I don't know." That's about it.
So you kind of it's like with any relationship, you kind of want some stimulating conversation, not just things that happen during the day, like meaning deeper stuff.
No, I agree though. I agree with that. Like there is less conversation because there isn't really much new stuff to talk about. But I think I don't think that's a bad thing. Like it's just what happens given the circumstances right now.
But do you guys, any of you guys, are you allotting? You know how some couples have had to make time, like especially married couples with kids, where they'll have to make a date night. They'll schedule a specific time of the week or a time during the day where they get to spend it on them. Like they get to focus on their relationship. Is that something you guys have